I smell?
Like a hot pile of garbage.
Oh.
A hot pile of garbage.
Well, here I am ahead of our live stream, which will be up today around 4 p.m. Central. Hopefully run for about an hour or two with call-ins, and we'll talk about all this week's topics. So hope to see you there. Game journals, I'm going to be kind of honest here. I'm going to be, this is how I feel. I'm willing to be corrected. I'm willing to be, my mind is well open to being changed. But it really seems to me that games journalism and a lot of video game production companies, AAA titles, are really obsessed with pushing this gay narrative. Every character has to be gay. I mean, is there in comics or like what is the I want you to think about this question. What is the percentage of like leading women in like Marvel comics and in video games that are gay? And what is the actual percentage in society? It feels like almost like a recruitment method. I know that sounds crazy and that's probably not true, but it's like, I don't understand why they're so obsessed with everything being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, okay? Fine. I don't care that Last of Us 2's main protagonist is a lesbian. Couldn't care less. However, what I will tell you is the game's journalism coverage of it is what makes me not want to play the game. Not the game, not that she's gay. The game's journalism is the anti-salesman of diversity to normies. Okay, I don't have strong opinions one way or another. I like to just point things out as I see them, as they come to me. And every time I see another article basically saying, now with Star Wars fans and Battlefield fans, you have games journalism. If you have any problem at all, if you have any critique at all with the protagonist, everyone making a big deal, they have to put a girl-on-girl kiss in the game trailer. You're a man, baby. That's the word they're using, that Ryan Roundhead Johnson is using to deflect all criticism of his terrible movie, Solo: A Star Wars Story. It's what games journalism is using to reject any criticism of Battlefield 5. And now, if you don't like the lesbo kiss in The Last of Us 2, you're also a man, baby. See, for people that claim to fight for inclusion and acceptance, they seem to me, at least in my humble opinion, to be the least tolerant folks I have ever met. When they want you to accept a female on female or male on male gay thing, if you don't like it, you're a bigot. You're a man, baby. But they don't take into account what your feelings or your personal opinions. You're just supposed to sit there and take it and praise it and tell them to slay queen. It won't be long at this rate until most characters in video games, our major characters, have some sort of gay plot line, which is, in my weird tinfoil hat, conspiracy is a weird effort to normalize it. And I don't, again, people are going to take this video and like use it against me. I'm just being honest. Everybody, these kids, when kids grow up, everybody's going to be gay, right? You're going to see a sharp increase in the rate of gay folks because of this media push at pushing gay characters in everybody's face. And as somebody who doesn't have a problem with it, I can impartially stand outside of that and say, what is going on here? Why is it such a big deal? Why is a character's sexuality even fucking matter in the video game? Why does it matter in the comic book? Nobody reads comics for for love stories, okay? They read those steamy novels with Fabio on the cover if they want that. It's like this weird cultism where they want every kid out there to be exposed and be like, to normalize this sort of thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's cultish. And I fully accept that I might be completely off base here. But if I haven't made it clear, I don't care about who people fuck. I care about what appears to be some weird propaganda. Now, when you look at articles like this shit piece, which I'll link in the description below, that came out today, creatives are finally telling man babies to stay home. Right. So when you say man babies, what you really mean is normal people that see a trailer with a lesbian kiss and ask why. They don't say ew. They don't say I don't like this. They say why. Why is this important? It's not important to killing zombies. It's not important to the canon. It is irrelevant. That is what normal people say. And I'm sure there are plenty of gay people who agree with me. All right. And when you say man babies are stay home, that's how you lose $80 million. It's like they are reveling in their failures. Solo, A Star Wars Story, lost somewhere between $50 and $80 million. I'm willing to bet you the real number is over $100 million. And they're lauding that as some sort of success, okay? And look how they frame everything. Some very aggressive Battlefield fans, what they're talking about is like tweets, by the way, are upset that the game includes women or has a woman on the cover. That is incorrect. That is the least genuine representation of the argument most people have. The argument has always been, outside of a few chuckle fucks, is that women weren't on the front lines during World War II. This is a game that prides itself on being historically accurate. That is not historically accurate. Therefore, I have a problem. Okay? If it was some sort of all-women battle, what was the Wasps, I think? Fighter pilots, if they made a game like that, and then there were male pilots, I would have a problem with that too, right? Because that's not canon. And they'll say, Battlefield 5 is a lot of unseen, untold, unplayed. The common perception is that there were no women in World War II. There were a ton of women who both fought in World War II and partook in the war. That is a lie. There were female snipers in, I think, the Italian forces, and I think they were in the war, helping the war, yes, and they were a very important part of it. While all the men were on the front lines getting shot to hell, they were the ones building the tanks, building, the guns, providing the ammo. We would not have succeeded in that war if not for women, okay? But they just weren't on the front line. That is not correct. And they say, here's Ryan Roundhead Johnson, done with this disingenuous bullshit. You know the difference between not liking a movie and hating and harassing a woman so bad that she has to get off social media. And you know which of those two we're talking about here. Again, there has been very little evidence of this Kelly Marie Tran leaving social media because of cyberbullying. This is a narrative that's been pushed by media so that everybody will keep talking about it. As I predicted, if you remember, when I put out that Kelly Marie Tran video, I told you this was the narrative they were going to run with. And here we are a week later, and they're still talking about it. Why? Because they're not talking about the movie being a complete financial disaster. You have more Ryan Johnson. What we talk about when we talk about man babies. I think he was referring to, let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. And we talk about, I've made no bones. Now, we have Dan Harmon, which is one of the biggest pieces of shit on the planet as a human, and his show is dead. The fandom destroyed it, unfortunately. Dan Harmon, co-creator of Rick and Morty, has made his distaste for some of the vocally horrible fan known. Somehow the toxic Rick and Morty fans, again, that's a new word that you see used, toxic and man babies. Rick and Morty fans also tend to attack women involved with the show. It's weird how that keeps happening, huh? I've made no bones about the fact that I loathe these people. Wait for him. Incoming Me Too movement. Dan Harmon. We know this is the pattern. In a story about the show's woman being harassed, it effing sucks. And the only thing I could say is if you're lucky enough to make a show that is really good that people like, that means some bad people are going to like it too. It's depressing that the angry men of Twitter are still so angry about Star Wars, video games, and Rick and Morty, which have become something of angry internet man starter kit. But it's heartening to see so many people behind these properties make it clear that the fandom shouldn't tolerate the worst parts of itself. Now, you are welcome to defend yourself against criticism. You are welcome to defend yourself against personal attacks. But what this article is it collectivizes all men because clearly there's no World War II buffs out there that could be women. Women should be offended by this article because it's saying that no woman would possibly care about historical accuracy. They care more about representation. And I don't care what Dan Harmon says. He's a piece of garbage. You can look through his Twitter feed. You can see it yourself. Rick and Morty's dead. Fine. Enjoy being a male feminist. I'll await your impending involvement in the Me Too movement and the constant narrative about it wasn't a bad movie. All your criticisms are because you're a toxic man baby on Star Wars. We all see through it.